John L. Gandy here with the Pro Bikini News Network and the Greater Than Ever podcast, where I bring on special guests from athletes, coaches, people in the fitness industry, and even outside the industry when I learn about them and their history, what made them great, and how people can learn from them how to be greater than ever. My next guest, she's an IFBB Bikini Olympian. She actually started training in the gym at 14 years old from an eating disorder and learning how to improve her health and overall well-being and self-esteem. 4 years later, at 18 years old, she did her first ever NPC show at the Vancouver Open, and then the Emerald Pro Cup in Washington State. She took her first ever national show at the Junior USA's in 2022, taking a fourth place finish. And just 1 month later, after her high school graduation, literally within 24 hours, she got on a plane and then won her IFBB Pro card at the Junior Nationals. After 1 year off, at 19 years old, she did her pro debut at the Optimum Classic and has been competing on the circuit for some time now. This year in 2025, she got her first ever Olympia qualification at the Nevada State Pro, and she's going to be heading to the Arnold Classic in Columbus and in the UK. She's a young prodigy. She works hard, is dedicated to the process, and has done this for a long duration of time. And she's just starting. She's bringing up this new era of new women into bikini and fit model and inspiring them and to make them become greater than ever. Please welcome my next guest, IFBB Bikini Olympian, Tianna Weymouth.
Sorry, I'm doing it on my iPad today.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Be able to see everything.
I was just trying to make sure everything's lining up. If I have to change the screens, here we go. All right.
So if I look like cross-eyed or something, my camera's up here, so I'm not really sure where I should look. So I
Yeah.
apologize in advance.
Oh, no, you're right. Sometimes I have my camera like up close to where it's like right at the mic, but if it's like I have two cameras, like obviously the one on my laptop and I have like a 4K, but if the 4K is not like good up close, then I'll have it right here. But I think it's a good, you can see most of my body versus just a head like in this square space,
Okay,
rectangular
perfect.
space. So how's everything going for you right now?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm not gonna mistake, you're Washington State, right?
In Seattle.
Oh wow, I almost said Spokane. I don't
Spokane.
Spokane. Almost said
Yeah.
so. You're actually in Seattle, it rains a lot. I know that's a
Yeah.
stereotype.
It's actually raining right now as we're doing this.
Yeah. So I mean, you're living in like almost like a futuristic city, like almost in Seattle, almost.
There's like
Yeah.
Microsoft buildings and Amazon buildings everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're, being out in the Pacific Northwest, how far is let's just say Vancouver? I know it's like all the way out west. How far is Vancouver out?
Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, 2.5 to 3 hour drive. Yeah, it's a 2.5 to 3 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay. I mean, it's easy to so you've never been outside US, outside of Canada and Mexico?
I've been to Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've traveled outside. I've been to Thailand, Japan, Taiwan, Canada, and then Mexico.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, you got to go out. You got to go and travel. You have a fan base all over the world.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
wanna. My mom and I were saying we wish there were pro shows in Thailand, so my family in Thailand could come watch and everything.
yeah. I mean, I will tell you this. Wanted to first off all congratulate you. You're the fan favorite of 2025.
No, that's not true.
The
You're.
fans love you the most.
I honestly, I don't even call people in my corner fans. I just call them like people in my corner because, like, honestly, if you, I know you're laughing at me, but like the thing is, our industry, we're so niche and we're so like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but we're just very tight knit. So it's like everybody knows everybody in a sense from the outside. Like if it was just an ordinary person who knew nothing about bodybuilding, they'd just be like, wait, so everybody's just like on the same level. They're just all bodybuilders. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
just, I just kind of look at it as like we're all just one whole little friendship group in a sense.
So I mean, that's one thing. It's like the biggest community. You know, it's kind of like if I said someone's name, they'd go like, "Wait, who is that?" And it's going to go into
Mhm.
something I'm going to talk about further down the
Yeah.
line, and with my one-on-one interview with you. But I kind of
Mhm.
just wanted to kind of know about you and your background, and
Yeah.
um, I kind of know a little. You, I mean, you can go ahead and you can just talk about it. I don't. You had a eating disorder when you were younger. I
Mhm.
don't. I mean, you can go in and elaborate on that.
Yeah. Do you want me to just kind of start how I got into the gym, or I
Yes.
feel like so many people know that story, so I don't want to bore people, but I will go over it briefly if that's all right with you.
Okay.
So, it was I was 14, freshman going into freshman year of high school, and yes, I did have an eating disorder. I had an exercise addiction along with that. So, I'd have like timestamps in my day, and like even during school, I would run to every class. I would go into the bathroom stall and do like jumping squats and stuff to burn more calories just because I had a fear of sitting down. I thought that I would get fat from sitting down. So, you know, I had that again, all self-inflicted. Nobody said anything or did anything to make me want to do that. Like it was just all self-inflicted. Um and then I knew I couldn't get away with not eating throughout the day, so I used my exercise addiction to combat the food that I had to eat cuz my mom would watch me eat and everything to make sure that I was eating. Flash forward, I just kind of woke up one day and I was like, I'm so tired of living like this. I honestly thought that that was going to be my way of living and just doing things in order to sustain what I had done, if that makes sense. Like, in order to just stay at a certain body composition. Even though my natural body composition is more of an athletic build. So, just in my head about that. I woke up one day and I was like, I'm so tired of living like this. And a family member of mine also suggested that I just start weightlifting just to understand that weight gain can be conducive. But obviously, I knew that I couldn't just jump back into the gym without actually recovering from an eating disorder. So I did have to take some time and just kind of realign myself. I don't think I've shared this on podcasts before, but all of the fitness pages that I followed, I looked into like the dietary aspect of all of them. So I started following like a good variety of people. Like I started following Abby Sharp. She's a registered dietitian on YouTube and on Instagram, and Health Nut Nutrition. Just like these like nutrition and food channels to understand the importance of healthy fats, carbs, protein. And then I allowed myself to get back into that fitness space. So I started following, well, I've been following those people, yeah, since I was 14. So I started following Adam, Ashley, Jen, Whitney Simmons, Dana
Dana
Liz Bailey.
Dana Bailey.
Yeah. Aaron Stern, Jazzy, just all these people that inspired me that I felt had a really healthy outlook with the sport and whatnot. And I didn't really know that like they were bodybuilders at the time. I just thought that they were really cool fitness people. So I started following them. Then I got, I was like, wow, this is really cool. They're bodybuilders, and I learned more and more about the sport. And then from there, I just went to the gym, learned about how to make sure I'm not under eating because I underestimated the amount of food that I was eating when I first started. And it was a lot of trial and error. I went through a lot of fad diet phases, like the all protein diet, only protein shakes, or like way too high fat and no carb, like the keto diet and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I just went through all these test runs until finally when I was about maybe sophomore year, so 15, 16, I finally understood what a balanced diet looked like in terms of not overdoing the protein, not overdoing this and that. And yeah, and then I just, I always wanted to compete. The first day I stepped into the gym, I really knew that I wanted to be a bodybuilder one day. I never thought that I would be able to step on stage. Like I always thought that it was just like a pipe dream. So to watch it happen as when I turned 18 and I actually stepped on stage, that was just surreal because I still have flashbacks to this day about like my first day at the gym. Like whenever I'm anxious or I'm on cardio, I always think back to my first day at the gym and how excited I was, and just kind of like daydreaming about how new I was to everything, and like how much I enjoyed, and I still obviously enjoy the process, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
how all of it was just so new and exciting. So that's just how I got into all of this.
So I kind of was thinking, was it was it kind of like you weren't bullied or anything like throughout elementary, middle school? I kind
Uh,
of feel like you had like a good it feels like you have a good upbringing, but it's kind of like you had this like self-inflicted like body image. Obviously, high school, adolescence of coming of age, it's
yeah.
a tough time,
Well,
you know.
excuse me, sorry,
Go
interrupted.
ahead. No, go ahead.
I will say, and again, I don't think I've talked about this on podcasts, but to be completely honest, middle school, elementary school, and high school were like I honestly hated school, to be quite honest. Not I would say, for me to say that I was bullied, that would be exaggerating. There were just a lot of unkind things that were going on around me in school. Um Part of it was due to a family member of mine. I hope you don't mind me being honest about
Oh yeah.
about this, because I feel like me sharing this, there's gonna be quite a few people that probably could relate to this. But a family member of mine they still do struggle with addiction. Um, and when you're in kind of like a small town, like everybody kind of knows everything about everyone. So there were a few like rumors about that family member of mine. So I would hear those rumors, and then it would come to me at school and whatnot. So a lot of unkind words were being said and untrue things. So I think a part of me was just like blaming myself for that, for my family members' health and addiction. So that kind of just stayed with me because I was known as the girl with the alcoholic father and all that growing up. So I think for me, I always, like, this is gonna sound very like sad. I promise you, it's not like that's not my intention here. But I
Okay.
always looked at myself and was just like, you need to do better, be better. Like you need to not turn into that family member. You need to just, like be better for yourself. And I think I took that too far to where, because I do have OCD, I was diagnosed when I was really young. And I think I took that too far to the point where I was like, everything needs to be perfect, perfect, perfect. So then I just put it all on myself, and I was like, well, I don't look perfect. I need to lose weight. I need to be a Victoria's Secret model build. Like, all of these untrue things that nobody really said, like in terms of my body image or how I looked or anything. But I just put it all on myself. And again, all self-induced, all self-inflicted. And like while my childhood was so amazing, I have the best mom in the world. There were always like ups and downs, just like anybody growing up. Like we all have ups and downs. Like we have good memories and bad memories, but I just chose to suppress all those memories when I got into middle school, just to kind of not have to think about it again. But memories come back, and sometimes you can't ignore them. You just kind of have to face them sometimes.
Yeah.
And everything.
So you go through that stage and you decided no more. Was it a doctor that diagnosed, or like did you said it was a family member that told you you should try to like do weight training and stuff?
I was, let's see, I was seventh, yes, seventh or eighth grade. It was around the end of seventh grade, maybe the beginning of eighth grade. But so where my eating disorder got to its like peak, where it was at its worst, was when I ended up losing 30 pounds in less than like 3 weeks. I I went onto YouTube and I searched up the military diet, and I followed that, and believe it or not, I did end up losing 30 pounds in 3 weeks for absolutely no reason. I just wanted to like look good for eighth grade, for like, it was so stupid thinking about it, but there was something in my brain telling me I needed to do that. And my mom was so, like, I could just see the hurt in her eyes, like her own daughter, like her baby, she gave birth to me, like seeing that she was probably like, I could tell it traumatized her too. So she took me to my pediatrician, and my pediatrician was like, this is really, really concerning. Like, you can't, like, it's just really concerning. So I did have to go to checkups every single month to make sure that I was gaining weight. And I hate saying this, but I will admit to it, before those checkups, they would be at night. So I would just chug a ton of water, like a ton of water, so my weight would go up when they weighed me. And I just did that until at that point I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I never went to any inpatient or anything. Like, I never got professional help for my eating disorder, because I knew that I needed to be the one to want to get better. I knew that if I was put into a facility or a place where help and just overcoming it would be forced upon me, I just knew it wouldn't be conducive. I needed to get better on my own. So I just had to not necessarily rewire my brain, but understand that this is not normal. Like, it's not normal. It's not a way to live. Like, life is too short to be living in a state where you just can't laugh, you can't smile. I went 3 whole years with no smiling or laughing. Not to complain, not to like be like complain or anything like that, but I put it on myself, you know, like I genuinely couldn't laugh. It hurt. I think it was because I was so fragile that, like, it physically, I remember I forced myself to laugh to see what it would feel like again. And you know, when you laugh, you get serotonin, like, you feel happy, you know? And I forgot what those feelings felt like. And I remember laughing and feeling so lightheaded, like pretending to laugh to get the like, the action of it out. And I was just like, wow, like, this is, what the F, like, what am I doing to myself, you know? So I was just like, I'm traumatizing my mom. She's hurt. My family members, my cousins, my friends, like, they don't want to be around me. Like, nobody wants to be around somebody like that. So I was just like, if I was somebody from the outside, I wouldn't want to be around me either. So I just knew I needed to just give myself tough love and snap out of it. And it took time, but God, I am so grateful that there was something in me that was like, you can't do this anymore. And, you know, even though that experience, so many people experience that, like, eating disorders are so prevalent and so many people experience it, I really wouldn't wish that on anyone, because it is the feeling of not being able to laugh or smile or have any emotion, really, because you're so drained. Like, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So every time I feel anxious again or just unmotivated, I think back and I'm like, I am so grateful that I am not in that headspace or that position, and I don't think I could ever go back to that position even if I tried. It's just so, like, I've pushed it out, if that makes sense, and it's not allowed back in.
Yeah. And so what was the point where you decided, I need to do something about I need to do something about this, and then you decided to take up, because you weren't in any sports at all, right?
Well, actually, no, I did play golf, but I wasn't, like, competitive. It was just for fun, basically.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I would go to the driving range sometimes. I never played 18 holes ever before. But yeah, so I think, I don't know how to explain it, but I think there was just something inside of me was just telling me that I need to stop, basically. Stop doing what I was doing, because I knew deep down, and when you do have things like this that you're experiencing, you know deep down what's right and what's wrong. And I knew that everything that I was doing was absolutely wrong. And it's nobody's to blame but me for that, you know? And I knew deep down too, I was in the wrong. What I was doing was wrong. And I just knew that I couldn't continue. And one of my turning points was, so my dog Sushi, she passed away now, but we got her when I was 5, and she was my little sister. Like, I loved her so much, you know, like, she would come play with me after school every day. Like, she'd pick me up from school with my mom. And I remember there was one point when I was in my eating disorder that she came running towards me and she wanted to play with me. And I physically just had no emotion. Like, I had no emotion to even, like, like, you know, when you love someone or you think someone's so like a pet is so cute. Like I had none of those emotions. I just was kind of like still, and that kind of was that was a click for me. I was just like, what am I doing? This is not okay at all, you know. And it just reminded me, you know, dogs, you know, dog years, they live way shorter than us, and they're always happy. Like dogs are always happy, and I was that like seeing my dog and everything, I just was like, I can't not be happy. I need to find a way to be happy, and I need to apologize to everyone around me that has seen me at this state and kind of just like gave up on me because they don't want to like come into my bubble because I would be upset, you know, like I would just shut everything out and everything. So
Okay.
yeah.
You started training at 13, 14 years old?
14, yes.
14? And it was
Mm-hmm.
in your school's gym, or like, did you go to like a, like
24
what?
hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I worked with the trainer for about a month, and he was actually the one that educated me like even more about food and fueling myself properly. And he actually asked me to download my Fitness Pal so he could see what I was eating on a regular basis. He said like, don't like change anything, just eat normally, and just like if you can track what you eat so I can see what you're eating. And he looked it over and he was like, girl, like you're way under eating carbs. I know you're full, but you need to bump those carbs up. You're not fueling yourself properly. And I used to train fasted too because I genuinely wasn't hungry because my hunger signals and everything, my ghrelin and everything, it was all messed up from the past. So he was just like, you're just gonna have to force feed. Like you need to eat before you train. So you know, a lot of learning lessons. But I was very privileged to work with him for a month and everything. I saved up my birthday money to work with him and everything, and he still lives in my area to this day. He's a firefighter now, but yeah, so
Okay.
it was really cool, and I got to learn from everyone around me, and you know, people that I saw at that gym, 24-hour fitness, I still see some of them to this day, like around, because they're all like local in my area, so it's really cool.
Okay. And so, you were in, was it your junior year or your senior year that you did your first show?
Senior
And
year.
okay,
Mhm.
so were your when you got, and I know this may, I kind of asked this question because
Yeah,
for anyone that's young and coming up, but
yeah.
I mean, were your parents okay with you? Like, you're like, hey, I want to do bodybuilding. I'm going to do a show. Were your parents like, I don't know how some, like, you know, you're the younger generation. So how did your parents say about you wanting to do a bodybuilding show? They're like, I don't want you on stage, like almost, you
Mhm.
know, partially, you know,
Yeah.
exposed and stuff. Cause back
Mhm.
then it was like, they used to have like teen and teen nationals. Now it's
Mhm.
kind of not really a
Oh
thing.
yeah, the Teen Colgate, or
Yeah.
not Colgate. That's a toothpaste brand. Um, uh, yeah, but I know what you mean. um, so my mom and like my parents, they, to be honest, I don't know why they weren't phased by it. They really weren't. They were actually very supportive, and I was
Oh,
quite surprised from my mom's perspective because she's Thai. I'm half Thai, half Italian, but she's Thai, and Thai people, they're very modest and Buddhist. Not trying to generalize or anything, but at least in my family, we're very modest and Buddhist. You know, your skirts and your shorts need to cover your knees and all that stuff, but my mom was very supportive of it because I think that she saw that I was building myself from the ground up, starting at 14 to 18, just being at the gym like every day after school. I would just go to the gym and study until 2 a.m. That's all I did. Um, and I think she probably was coming, and I'm not trying to speak for her or anything, but she was probably like, "Oh, great, you're putting yourself out there. Like you're not just downstairs studying after the gym and whatnot." So she was quite excited. She was in Thailand during that time. So she was away for 6 months in Thailand, just dealing with some family stuff. So I actually did my first show on my own. I like drove to the venue with my coach at the time, and my dad stayed home and my mom was in Thailand. So they didn't, I don't know if they actually were like, oh, she's actually gonna step on stage, until I actually stepped on stage and I was able to win my class. And then I showed them all the pictures and they were like, wow, they were so impressed and proud of me and everything. And that was a big milestone for me because I saved up money. I worked at the front desk at my gym at the time, and I saved up all my money to buy my first suit, to find a local show that I wouldn't have to buy plane ticket for and whatnot. And I split a hotel room with my coach at the time. And I just felt so proud that I was able to financially support myself for my first show. And I think my parents seeing that, they were like, oh wow, like she's serious. She's gonna actually like do this. Okay, cool. And then, it's cool seeing my passion spread to my mom as well
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. So you were you were finishing up your senior year at that time.
Yes.
And it was I kind of wrote this down. It was the Vancouver.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was what was it? The Vancouver Open. It was in
Mm-hmm.
spring. So
Yes.
when your first coach, how did you find your first coach in that time in like 2022? Was it like, someone local? Did you find someone online? Did you
Mm-hmm.
put your name in? Or
I was training at the gym. It was in 2021, and she was a
oh, okay.
Yeah, she was a trainer at my gym. Her name's Haley, by the way. She's still a really good friend of mine. Haley Medea. But she was a trainer at the gym that I went to, Ironworks, and I saw her, and my first thought was like, wow, she's really pretty. Like, she looks like a muscle Barbie, because she has like the pretty blonde hair and everything. So I always kind of like looked at her at the gym, not to like stare or be creepy, but I always just was like, wow, she's really pretty. And then I finally had the courage to like smile and wave at her this one day. And then we just kind of like got into a conversation. I forgot how the conversation went or started, but she was saying, we were both basically complimenting each other, saying that we noticed each other and that we thought each other had really cool physiques and whatnot. And she knew that I was young, and she was like, girl, you need to compete. Like, you should do bikini. And I was just like, what? Like, that's always been my dream. I've been wanting to do bikini since I was 14. And she was like, oh, that's so cool. So before I even signed up with her for coaching, she willingly, she went out of her way to help me and kind of explain to me, okay, like, we'll start working together in December of 2021. Yeah, December of 2021. So I was going to Thailand that summer. So she said, when you come back from Thailand, like, hit me up and we'll start working together. But for now, just keep doing what you're doing. And so I started working with her from December. We did my first show together, an Emerald Cup together. She taught me about posing, and I would have like posing sessions with her every week to kind of like get stage IQ down. And it was really cool because she was at my gym, so she could just look at me when I was training sometimes too, and she could see if I was doing something right or wrong. And yeah, so I just found her at my gym. It was like a very genuine interaction at first.
Yeah. So you were doing this, you were working part-time job, you were finishing up your senior year, doing exams, and then
Yeah.
you were in a prep at the same time. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, thinking back, I don't know how I I was like tackling that, but I mean, people work 9 to 5s. There's nurses in the industry, so it's really like in the grand scheme of things, it's just the norm. But I was doing college applications in December of 2021, so I think I front loaded everything. Like, I got all the tasks done before I actually stepped on stage, so I wouldn't have anything to worry about. Because with senior year, at least for most of the kids in my senior class, we all kind of figured out and found out where we got in for college by the end of April, early May. So like, our grades at that point didn't really play a huge role because we already like did our applications in the beginning of the year. So our GPA is kind of carried over from junior year and like half or like a quarter of senior year. So like, the pressure to get all A's was off my shoulders and whatnot. I still aimed for that. I did not succeed. I got like a few B's, and I think I got a C plus in what class was it? AP World History or something. But I tried my best to stay really good with my secular subjects in school and everything. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it was really cool being able to see how much I could tackle and handle, especially going from like never ever having these responsibilities to all of a sudden all the responsibilities fall on you the end of junior year and like the beginning of senior year. So it was cool to see that you really are capable of more than you think.
Yeah. And where are you currently still in school? Are you finishing up? Or you graduated already?
I'm graduating in May.
Oh, okay.
I know, time flies. Uh, but I got accepted into Seattle University
Okay.
before Emerald Cup. So that was like a big milestone because that was my dream school. Um, but I did drop out of Seattle University and I transferred to University of Washington, UW Bothell instead. Just
Okay.
because I wanted to be online, and Seattle University doesn't offer full time online, so that's where I'm at now. So I've done freshman, junior, no, freshman, sophomore, junior year at Seattle U, and then my final year will be at UW online.
Wait, the University of Washington.
The UW Bothell. So
Oh,
it's an
it's a sub. Yeah.
extension
Okay.
of
Yeah.
the campus. So yes, it's University of Washington, but I would say the acceptance rate in like transfer students, it's easier to transfer to
Yeah.
that school.
Yeah, I mean, and you have, you're obviously going to have a great career after, and that's one thing. Is like people like they get into the industry and they drop. Like you don't drop out of school, you finish up. Sandy did get on Sid for not going to UPenn's masters. She's like, don't talk to me, but she finished up. But Sydney had a plan, and
Mm.
when her like obviously competing took over, but obviously you're doing this at the same time. It's great that you're finishing up, so you have something to go to when competing is no more. But so you do the Vancouver Open, you do the Emerald Cup that's always in Washington every year.
Yes.
You got nationally qualified because you won your class. So
Mm-hmm.
you go to you decided to go to Junior USA's first thing. That was at the end of May, almost like, and you wind up taking fourth in your class. And I think it's only top four in the overall.
Get
They
their
get pro cards there, yeah. So what was your first national show experience in South Carolina, going from the West Coast to the East Coast?
It was honestly great. I had a lot of fun. My two best friends, he's my boyfriend now, but they came with me to that show and my mom was there and it was a really good experience because from what Haley, my first coach, had told me, she said nationals is a completely different experience. And before we even stepped on stage for my first show, she was explaining to me, she was saying, my goal for you is to just get you nationally qualified so you can go to a national show and get the experience. Like, you're not gonna, like, you're probably, it's not what you're gonna expect. It's ran quite differently than a regional show. So my goal going into that show was just to soak up the experience, and it was a really, really good experience. There was just everything was on time, well ran.
Yeah.
It was awesome, honestly, and it was the first time I got in front of Sandy, and I just kind of went into that show blind. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that I wasn't gonna get my pro card at that show, but I just wanted to learn. So getting first call outs in front of Sandy, I didn't know that I got first call outs because, to be quite honest, I didn't really fully understand what a call out entailed. I went from regional shows to being in the first call outs at my first two regional shows, and then I went to nationals and I was in the first call out, and I thought I was in like second or third call out, so I was just like, oh, cool, like, I think I got probably like second to last in my class, or something. So I didn't really have any expectations. And then my teammate Kimber, I had switched coaches at this point to Nelson Jones. So
Mhm.
my teammate Kimber came to me after we stepped off of stage, and she was like, "T, I'm so proud of you. You did awesome. Like, congratulations." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, I think I was like second to last. I was in second call outs." She was like, "What are you talking about? You're in the top four. Like, it looks like you're either like top five ish." And I didn't know what that entailed at the time. I was just, like, "Oh, like, are you sure?" And I just kind of brushed it off. I really didn't care about a placing. I just was there for the experience, and I thought it was cool
Yeah.
because, it was cool experience.
Yeah, I mean, I love Junior USA's. It's just how well it's ran, and
Yeah, it was.
less divisions, and how they structure the days. That's another reason why I hope to do that for my first national show as well. And
Yeah.
you never know, you could find something special out of it. I did
Oh
find
yeah.
you, you know, and
Yeah, it's a really good national show. I would highly recommend, and yeah, just a really good experience. And also, I think the location of the show, it's like, yeah, because we went to, what's it called, King Street? I forgot what it's called, but like, the downtown area is super cool, like, for sightseeing, food, everything. So I had a really good time there.
Now this is where this is where Tianna was really talked about. So you're finishing up school in June, and
Yeah.
then you just what did you decide many weeks after Junior USA's to go for Junior Nationals?
So actually, I thought I was gonna be done. I so my issue when I first started was I had too many voices in my head, and I seeked advice from too many different people, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I had, and again, it's because I was new. This is all because of me. Like, I just asked sometimes too many questions, and that's good and bad. But I just was kind of in that headspace where I was like, okay, well, everybody's saying I should just stop. Like, I should just not continue anymore and just grow in reverse. Um, and I was kind of bummed about that. I was just like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be done. Like, I want to keep going, because I reversed into all of my shows except for Vancouver Open. So my food was very high, and my cardio was very manageable. It was like 40 minutes. And then my teammate, Kimber, messaged me on Instagram, and she said, hey, T, like, you're doing junior nats, right? Because she was doing it too. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. Like, I think I'm just going to call it here and go into an off season. And she was like, what? Why? Like, you got fourth at Junior USA's. You should just try Junior Nats just for a learning experience, if anything. Like, it's a cool show. It's really fun. No pressure, but I'll be there. And that got me thinking, and I brought it up to my mom, and my mom was like, I think you should do it. Like, that would be really fun. Plus, you're not going to have school anymore after that, so it's not like you have to worry about getting back home in a reasonable time to study or anything. So I slept on it, and in my heart, I really wanted to do it. So I brought it up to Nelson, and I sent him like an audio message, and I was like, hi, Nelson, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I just want to ask you, blah, blah, like, what do you think? And then he sent me a bunch of audio messages, and to this day, I still go back to those audio messages and I listen to them, but he told me, he said, I think I can tell you're not in any rush. You're doing this because you love it, and it's a passion, not an interest. And to that day, I still stick with that motto. And he said, so I don't think you can go wrong either way. If you want to reverse, put on some size, go into an off season, I fully support that. Or if you want to do this show, I fully support that too. And he told me, he said, I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your ass. That's what he said. He was like, it is possible to go from fourth place to first place if you work on X, Y, and Z. And he said, now, I'm not guaranteeing that, and I'm not trying to put anything in your head, but it is not impossible to do that. And for some reason, something inside of my heart was just like, well, now that he voiced that out loud, I want to see if I can do that. So I committed to the show, and the 4 weeks leading up to that show, to this day, I would say those were the most magical 4 weeks, the most transformative 4 weeks of my life. It was incredible. Like, 2 days before we left before I graduated too, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, wow, I have delts. Like, I think I'm worthy. Like, I think this is a pro worthy delt cap. For some reason, that's what I thought. And not to, like, gas myself up or anything like that. Like, obviously, if I were to turn pro with that physique in today's bikini, I wouldn't have. But, at the time, I was very impressed with myself. I'm saying that very humbly, just because I saw my evolution from point A to now, and I was like, I believe in myself. I think I can do this. And not just, like, how I looked, but in terms of what I was doing to get to that show. I was on a very, just not a strict schedule, but everything was very organized. I would get up at 5. I would take my check-ins, send my check-ins, go do cardio, study a little bit, eat, go to school, come back home, posing practice, eat, go to the gym, posing practice again. And it was just, I loved that schedule though. I loved it so much. And I think that's when I truly realized I fell in love with the process and the whole outcome of turning pro, or anything that just slipped my mind. I was like, I feel worthy, but it's not up to me. And it was so transformative, and that's where the passion truly just hit me. And then,
So
yeah.
is this true? Like you got your high school diploma, and then you're like, I got to get on a plane and fly to and
Mhm.
fly to Chattanooga. Was that is that how it went?
So
I
what happened was, what time was graduation? I think graduation was at like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. And we obviously, I couldn't leave because my last name's W, so I had to stay throughout the whole ceremony. And the whole ceremony lasted about 4 hours, I believe. And my flight, it was a red eye. So
oh
our flight was at 11 p.m. So after graduation, I got home. It was around like, I don't know, 4, because they handed out diplomas at like 2. I don't know why I remember the timestamps. I think it was such a pivotal moment, so that's why. But I went to the gym, did my pump up workout, packed all my food, packed all my things. We went to the airport, hopped on a plane, and then, yeah, we got there. And then we had 12 hours until I would step on stage. So at that point, it had already been 12 hours. So I had 12 hours to just get ready. Because when we got there, it was already towards the end of the day. Because of the time difference and everything. It's a 3-hour time
yeah,
difference.
East Coast
And
West.
it was like a connecting red eye. So it was a long travel day. But yeah, and then the following day, I'm like trying to remember the exact timestamps, but we got there, I got situated, went to bed, next day stepped on stage. So in total it was like 25 hours.
How much sleep did you get from all that?
Honestly, not that much. My Nelson was just like, "Bro, this is crazy. Like, what?" But he was like, "You know what? If you want to do this, then we're gonna do it." But I think
You
I
have to
slept.
plus you have to like check in at like
I think I checked in at the airport too, like in the bathroom stall. But
no, like
yeah,
check in at the
it
airport,
worked
but also
out.
check in at like at junior nationals, check in at the like get
Oh,
your
I was
number and
late. I
everything.
was late to check-ins.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I think Kimber, my teammate, grabbed some stuff for me to help me because she got to the hotel early. We split a room and everything, so she was like helping me before I even got there. But yeah, it was crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I would not do that now going into a show. I think that's a little too risky with water retention and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was able to get away with it and everything. It
Let me try to find what if I have to scroll down if you let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find when you was it up here? Is it up here?
When I turned pro,
Yeah, or is it down?
oh, keep scrolling down. Yeah, it's all the way down. I didn't pin it anymore.
Okay.
It's I have so many posts.
No,
It
that's
is keep scrolling. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep scrolling. So many shows my rookie pro season.
oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. I just wanted to find. Let's see. This was
Almost there.
okay. We're almost there.
Scrolling. It's right a little bit more. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. Okay, haha. Right there. That one. That's when I turned pro.
Aw. And they're
There's
announcing the names.
Marissa. Oh my gosh. I love Marissa. We're such good friends now. And it's really cool because the girls that I'm on stage that I was on stage with, like Dre and everything, like we're such good friends. It was such a cool moment. It was so cool. I had it pinned for a while, but then I had to unpin it because Instagram only lets you pin 3 things, and
Yeah.
I'm my Olympia qualification in my first Olympia. I really wasn't like I was so happy. It was honestly it was so surreal. And my first pro win was very similar, like I don't know, the call out was similar to how I was at this show, so it was really cool to like replay that but as a pro. I look so young there.
I mean, keep in mind. I mean, that's a record. I mean, at 18 years old, at one day, like after high school graduation. I mean, now keep in mind, Courtney, when she turned pro, it was 1 month after she graduated high school, but she did Universe. And fun fact, she was in the same class at NPC Universe as Ashley Kaltwasser. Ashley won her class. Courtney took third in that class.
Oh my god!
And Ashley won the overall at Universe and turned pro there. And that was in 2012.
That is awesome. Wow.
And then Courtney, a few weeks later, USA's is always in July, at the end of the July. Courtney took second in her class at USA's, and that's when she turned pro.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think Beatrice turned pro at 17 and then did her first Olympia at 8, because her birthday's I actually looked it up. Her birthday's in April. So she did her first Olympia in 2018 at 18 years old. And then she did her first Arnold at 18. So you'll be the youngest since Beatrice since 2020 to do an Arnold in the Olympia.
That's so cool. That's really cool. I mean, you know this, but I try to steer away from the age stuff because I don't want people
that's why I was trying to avoid like that whole age thing. Like, I mean,
well, no, like I'll be honest, I identified with that for so long, like after I turned pro, because I thought that was like all I had for me. And you know, like we're way past that now. But yeah, I really appreciate you not saying, like, when we started the podcast, she's the youngest girl, like, you know.
For my intro, I did not do that for you. I just talked about you. I do say she turned pro 1 month after high school graduation, but I didn't say the youngest ever. I'm not gonna be,
no.
That's the only thing I said. So if you see my intro before every video, I did a good one for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, because I just, you know, I don't want to like annoy people or anything.
I mean, people, you know what? It's like some people look at someone young and that they accomplish something so fast and they say, you know, they're an overachiever. But I mean, you were training since you were in the gym since you were 14 years old, you know, so it's many years of this. And when I show a post of someone like many years ago or when they turn pro or what they are now, I'm like, you have to see it's many years of work. It's many years of training. It's some people that went through maybe 5 years as an amateur to, you know, if you look at Vanya August, she was 5 years as an amateur and then another 5 years to be like a Arnold Classic champion.
Yeah, exactly. So, we all have our own journeys. And, you know, one thing that it's not a pet peeve of mine, but when there's a pro out there who like is a 2-show pro or like turn pro quickly, there are some narratives that are placed upon that pro that are like, oh, they had fast success, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, people don't understand that person has a background of fitness and like CrossFit or something. You know, they've been building that solid foundation of muscle for years to be able to get to that point, especially like with nationals this past weekend. Like, we saw so many young pros. One of my best friends, Roxy,
the overall winner.
And she's 22. And my friend Sophia's client, Riley, she's 22 as well. She turned pro. There was another girl, she was 22 as well. And she turned pro. There were like 3.
Devin, she turned. She was 21 when she turned pro, but then her birthday was on Sunday, so she was 22
now. But you know, like, there were 3 21, 22-year-old pros, like, and seeing that makes me so happy because first and foremost, they have had a background of training since high school, just like me. So seeing the fruits of, like, just all of their work be showcased and they get what they worked for, it's really cool to see that. It really is. And I applaud them for just taking the time to build during high school and just grind. And then, sure, it's fast success, but it's really not. You know, it's been years in the making for them and everything.
I am going to kind of touch upon young pros. I do understand, like the fit model girl from Italy. She's a natural.
I love
her father, Letizia.
Like my little sister. She's so cute.
Letizia, yeah. I mean, she was a swimmer. I mean, her father was a bodybuilder back in like the 90s era. And I told her, you know what? You have that young picture of you with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're going to go and say... You're gonna say, yeah, I got to meet a legend. Like you wanted life. You got to, and that's what's gonna happen. You got to get a selfie with Arnold.
I will.
He's just like, quickly do selfie. He's very robotic, so just understand he's kind of like a Terminator in real life. It's like, he's, okay, let's do the selfie. Get a good one and then go. That's kind of how he is. So
I'm so excited for that.
I mean, she was 18 and 13 days, and then Ariel Kadar, she was in fitness, and it was in 2009. It was 17 and 10 days, but she was in like sports her whole life, but she didn't do her first Olympia till she was 24 because she was finishing up school and building a physique. She wanted to be competitive when she got to the Olympian in her first one in 2016, because like a 17-year-old Ariel would have a hard time with someone like Adela, Whitney
Yeah.
Jones, Oksana, those like the peak fitness athletes. So it was good to like wait and build for a couple years. But that's another thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of being dedicated to this. And I'm seeing younger people. I don't know her name. Yeah, no, actually I know. Gianna.
Oh, Gianna.
Gianna.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
my friend.
She
If we're talking about the same Gianna, she
Hernandez.
yep,
She's
she
she's
coached me.
putting in work. I see
Oh
it.
yeah.
I don't. It's not just she's just doing these. No, she's putting in the work. She's putting in the time to do it. It's
Mhm.
and you're seeing what she's going. She's documenting her journey, and
And I
people are
love,
giving her all that. I'm like, she's putting herself out there. She's getting uncomfortable being
you
comfortable,
know,
and that's I respect that work. I
I
respect that time.
honestly,
And
it gets me thinking, and like this is why I stay off of certain platforms like
yeah,
Reddit and whatnot. But I people like younger pros or younger up and coming bodybuilders, I see a lot of hate towards them and just hate surrounding like that generation, that new generation. And I understand why that hate might be coming, like, like stay in school, focus on school, like grow, develop. But I also am kind of just like, we should be encouraging the
yeah,
younger generation to do something that they genuinely are passionate about, because I will tell you this, if they're not actually serious or passionate about it, they would have gave up and quit a long time ago, and they would have just gone back to like vaping or partying, or you know what I mean. So
yeah. Less people these days are not drinking or doing that,
no,
which I'm
and
like,
I
that's
think
great
that's
that they're involved in
great.
this industry.
Exactly. I mean, for me, I'm gonna be 22 next month, the end of next month, and I've never had a drink my whole entire life, and I don't plan on it. Not because I'm like some strict, rigid fitness person. I just have no interest in doing it, and obviously with alcoholism running in my family, I just want no part of that, And I see a lot of people my age now in the gym, and I love my For You page on TikTok, because all I see is like people going to the gym with their significant other or with their friends, coming home,
Yeah.
making a post workout meal, watching TV, journaling. Like, I know that's like highlight reels, and some of it might not be realistic, but I genuinely like seeing that kind of content, just because I feel like like Gen Z, we're all kind of turning into old souls in a sense, where we want to surround ourselves with people that we look up to, and we look up to these people.
Yeah. Now, and I get where you're coming from, especially, but you're the new era. When I looked at, keep in mind when Courtney won Tampa back in 2013, she was 19 years old.
Exactly.
She's the
Yeah.
youngest one to win Tampa Pro. And
Exactly.
going into that Olympia when at the time 2013, some of the top girls did not come back, and it was just they were talking about only Natalia Mello at the time, India Paulino, who won the Arnold,
Hmm.
and Amanda Latona, who was in magazines and a former Miss USA overall winner. And
Yeah.
I was like, what do you think of Courtney? And she's like, she's just a kid. And I'm like a kid like that ain't gonna accomplish much. I'm like, well, Olympia was in September, and she turned 20 in September at the time. I'm like, she's just a kid. Like, she's a kid. I don't think she's going to be too far off from India. I think she can handle like not mature enough. That was the excuse. I'm just like, you don't know what they're going to do. She puts in the work just like anybody else. And
I
that
think.
Olympia, she took seventh, and
Yeah.
there was only 22 girls at the time, so she beats 2/3 of the girls, and she was exceptional. And that was when Ashley won the Olympia. So,
Yeah.
and no one
What
had Ashley at all winning that, and no one
wasn't
had Ashley at all.
actually
Yeah,
wasn't she 21 when she won her first Olympia, or am I wrong?
23.
23. Yeah, very young,
Yeah.
very very young, like still a kid. If you
Mm.
like, that's the one thing that I wish wasn't like broadcasted as much, is that with the younger generation coming into bodybuilding, there will be a lot of voices saying, "Oh, they're just kids. They're like they need to go and grow and take time to mature," which is true,
Yeah.
very very true. But that's what they're doing.
You're growing into a physique for many years, and obviously you're going to see
It's
like
time.
I happy to see you. If I hope to see you in this for over a decade. I hope to
Oh,
see that progression from, let's
you
say,
will
what you
be.
when you
I'm
first
not.
started to like to then when you're in your 30s, I'm like, wow, if you saw that, it's amazing. But I felt, and this is what I talked about after your Nevada State. We're going to get into your history, don't worry. But
Mm-hmm.
how Courtney was treated after she won the Olympia 10 years ago was just
Yeah.
really bad. You know, she got backlash, you know, there are pros calling her brat, you don't deserve it, you have no
Yeah.
glutes. And she had an eating disorder at the time. So having that backlash from social media and then having that internet caused her to like, she couldn't take it anymore. So then she
Oh
stopped,
yeah.
and I felt bad. I'm like, I was hoping that doesn't happen to anybody else, but like,
Yeah.
she was just, some people are just better. That's just our sport. Some people are just better. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, with being on a public platform and just
Yeah.
being in this industry and of itself, we are signing up for that hate and those outside noises. And one thing that really helps me with that is kind of my boyfriend actually put it into really good perspective for me. He said, imagine a football team. Let's say it's like the Seahawks versus some other football team. And Jake was saying how there are people that will be like, oh, I hate the 49ers. I hope they lose. You know, like I want the Seahawks to win or this and that. So Jake was telling me how it's just like any sport. There's going to be fans of one team and there's going to be fans of another team. And when that one team wins, they're going to hate on the other team. So Jake was just telling me, don't take it to heart. If there's people out there that say, oh, we hate Tianna, like we don't want her to win. She doesn't deserve to win. Like it's part of the sport, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, they have their favorites and it is what it is. And ever since he kind of like ingrained that into my head, any negativity that I've gotten, it doesn't really affect me at all anymore. It used to, but now I'm just kind of like, hey, it's the sport. Like people have their favorites, you know? And you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea at the end of the day.
I mean, listen, you handle it very well, and I
Thank you.
commend you for that. And I'm happy to see your continued journey. But let's get into when you first started competing. So I think it was about 2 years ago when I put out the Optimum Classic. I'm like, I gotta find everyone's name. You know how I do with those posts with like the
Yeah.
lineups and all. I'm like, I gotta find everyone's names, and then I'm like, Tianna, Weymouth, and I'm like, okay, let's. And then your name got posted, and then everyone's like, Tianna, the youngster was like, and then everyone's like, look, Tianna's doing it, and they were so happy to see. So you did the Optimum Classic, and you made you placed 8th on your pro debut. Your experience at your first show, what was that versus when you were in the amateur level?
Oh, completely different. It was so fancy because I remember there was like a separate area for the pros, and it was very fancy. We were like escorted to the pump up area backstage and everything because it was at the Shreveport Convention Center. Yeah. And I went onto stage, and obviously I didn't get first call outs, but I didn't really care. I was just like, this is so cool. I'm actually a pro. Like, I remember Sierra Swan and Lucia were doing that show. Oh, and Tamikia. And I had followed them for some time. And I also, you know, leading up to my pro debut, I would watch YouTube videos of like the Olympia and whatnot. And I saw Sierra and Lucia. They also did the Optimum Classic the year prior to the year, I think 2022. But I watched YouTube videos with them in it, just like of the call outs and stuff. So seeing them in real life, I was just like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, you know, they were in my eyes, these are celebrities, you know. And Kimber did that show too. We were in the same call out and everything, and that was my first time meeting her in person. And I remember seeing her on YouTube, in Adam's videos, you know, and a few. So I was just like, wow, like all of these people that I follow are here. It's like so cool. I was like really starstruck, honestly. So to even place top 10 at my pro debut, I was really not expecting that. I thought I was going to be last place, to be quite honest. So I was really happy.
Yeah, and it was something that you know, it's something you look back and you're going to cherish forever. So then, you know, you unfortunately Nevada State, you did not place in that show.
I think I got like second to last call outs.
Okay. I mean, hey, look, the show you did not place in, you wound up winning 2 years later. So think about that.
Yeah, I deep down really wanted that. I knew there was a reason that Adam wanted me to do that show, and there was a reason that my heart was telling me to do Nevada State this year. So it's really cool.
And I think, did Ashley win that one that year? Were you with Adam at the time or no?
But that was when I started to want to work with him, because I met him and Ashley at that show, and I actually went up to Adam. I like marched up to him and I was like, "Hi Adam, I follow you. I'm a really big fan. I've been following you since I was 14." And Adam was like, "Oh wow, that's so cool." And then he was like, "You're only 18, 19." Yeah, I was 19 at the time. He was like, "You're only 19, like you're just a baby. Like keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be great one day. You're going to be great. Just keep it tight." Like in terms of like on stage, because I had bad core control at that show. So that's what he meant by that. And he was like, "Come in with like good conditioning just because you don't have the muscle density yet, and you'll be great. Like just keep working at it." And then I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." And then he followed me that same day and I was like fangirling and everything. And then a few weeks later I did Vancouver Open with Ashley and I saw him there again at that show.
Oh, this in 23. That was in 23. Let's see. It was Optimum, Nevada State, Dallas,
Republic of Texas.
and then Republic of Texas.
And then Vancouver.
In Vancouver, that was when you got third.
To Ashley. That was huge.
Awesome.
Like, oh my goodness. That was insane for me because I did not expect that. And I just thought that I was going to be consistently in that like second, third call outs until I was older. Just because of muscle density and whatnot. But yeah, it was really cool. And that was when I officially was like, oh my goodness, I want to work with Adam one day.
So then after Vancouver, you did Sasquatch in your home state. Did that show had like 42 people in it?
Yeah, 45,
44, yeah. That was insane. It was like, that was when you could register late. It was like 35. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
a couple minutes later, rewind. A couple of minutes later, 38. I'm like, oh, 40, 42, 44. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I was so happy about that show because I placed 10th and it was just really surreal because it was such a big show and I really didn't think I was even going to place top 10 at all. So it was another big milestone for me because I overcame a lot of self-doubt and imposter syndrome that like the weeks leading up to that show. It was an 8-week gap between Vancouver and Sasquatch. So I had 8 weeks to work on my mindset and everything.
Okay. And then you finish off the season with 7th at Legion. So I would say you had a pretty good rookie season. You know, I felt like it was actually, no, this was, 23 was your rookie season. You didn't compete in 22.
I turned pro.
You turned pro in 22, but you didn't do a pro show until 23. So
so I took about months off.
All right. Yeah, so I would say you had a pretty successful season. A lot of people it was between you and Allie for Rookie of the Year, and everyone's like, Tianna, everyone, and it tied. And it was like, at one point it tied. I was like,
full circle because Allie and I were like very close. We were on stage in the same initial call out at the Olympia this year, except it was Allie's second Olympia this year, which is so awesome.
Yeah. And it was great success that you've had. And then 2024 season, it was successful as well. So you had 3 top 5 finishes, 4th in Vancouver.
And then 5th in Chicago.
And then 5th in Chicago. So so going to Chicago, I know it was like less competitive, but you get 5th place there. So did you kind of think, keep going after that? Or, because I know Nashville, you went to 12th place when it's kind of like you start out strong and then you start going backwards. You kind of have that thought of like, I should keep going or, I should call it a season. What kept you going after Nashville?
To be completely honest, I always knew every single season that I had, there's always going to be a show where I don't place, if that makes sense. So after Chicago, I kind of knew in my heart that the next show wasn't going to be a top 5. I just knew in my heart. I get intuitions and feelings, and the same thing happened to me this season. Like I got 11th at Optimum this 2025 season. It always happens every season. There's always a show where either my mindset is off, my physique is off, or there's just something that's not clicking. It's unavoidable in the past. I know how to overcome that barrier now, but I just knew in my heart it wasn't going to be my day at Nashville. I still wanted to do that show anyways because I knew that there was going to be silver lining at the end. Like I was going to get something out of it. Because after that show, Adam and I had spoken on the phone and Adam was like, "You are doing so amazing. I'm so proud of you. We've had an amazing first season together. I think it would be conducive for you to just hang it up and grow because you do need more size. You do need the muscle density and you just don't have that right now." And I was just like, you know what, Adam, you're right. You're right. I know that you're right, and I should end my season here. Can I please just do one more show? There's just something in my heart that is telling me to just do one more show. Please let me do one more show. And Adam was like, buddy, like, we need to grow. Like, we really need to grow. But then he he was just like, but if this is going to make you happy and you want to have a good time just to end off on a fun note, I support you doing that show. So let's do it. And then that's when I placed second to Reina.
Yeah,
And that
in the Mexico.
was a blessing because I had no idea who was doing that show. I had no idea who the judging panel was. I never really paid attention to the judging panel. But Steve DeVore was the head judge at that show. And the last time I saw him was at Legions when I placed 7th the year prior. So I was so excited that he was head judging that show because he could see the feedback that he gave me in 2023 and how I would apply that to 2024. So ending my season off with the 2nd place was, I wasn't even doing it for the placing. I was just doing it for the experience, but it was the cherry on top.
But you know what? You're beating people who are Olympians and top pros, and you're right there with Reina, and everyone was going crazy for you, and that's I'm there like everyone's like Tianna's doing it. Come on, go Tianna.
I honestly, I already knew I wasn't winning that show because let's be honest, Reina's glutes are out of this world. So it was an honor to even be in the same call out as her. When he called me out for first call outs, I was just like, there's no way. There's no way I'm in the same call out as Reina. Like, that is crazy. So, oh my goodness, it was a blessing. I honestly, it was so cool. I couldn't have asked for a better end to that season.
Yeah. It was you ended on a high, and that's the one thing, you always have to you always have that outlook on it. And every show, is it you're always emotional every show? Is it kind of you're very grateful for the people that support you?
I honestly, after every show, whether I place or I don't place, I'm always leaving the show very happy, to be honest, because I always circle back to my past and just how privileged I am and how blessed I am to not be living like that anymore. So in the grand scheme of things, a placing is a placing. It doesn't mean anything. People forget about it the following day. I won a show back in June. Nobody's talking about it anymore because it's a placing. People forget about it. You know what I mean? So it's I don't let a placing dictate my mood or anything because it doesn't matter. Obviously, yes, it matters if you're trying to qualify for the Olympia, but you know what I mean? Deep down, it really doesn't matter. It's not that deep.
Yeah. And then 2025, you start the year off at Wasatch getting 5th place. You're back into that top 5 spot. Optimum, by the way, you got 9th.
I did.
Yeah, you said 11th, and you actually got 9th in that show. So you didn't have one show this year outside top 10 in any.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good record.
I thought it was 11th for some reason.
Oh no, yeah, I was just kind of correct. You weren't worse. You're actually much better. So
thank you. Well, that makes me feel better. I thought I was 11th, but again, going into that show, my mindset was off. That's just me being honest. So that's why obviously that's not why I did poorly, but not poorly, but that's why I had that one-off show, if that makes sense, because there was just not, something in my mind was not clicking. And I knew going into that show that it wasn't going to be a top 5 because when I was at check-ins, I had a wave of anxiety that just took over my body, and I was shaking during check-ins. I don't know what caused it, but I think honestly, and this is going to sound very shallow and probably irritating to some people, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's just me being honest. Yeah. It was the first time that I had experienced diet face in a prep because for me, I naturally have a rounder face, and I did I wanted to, Adam and I chose to do this. We wanted to get tighter from Wasatch to Optimum because I just didn't have the density in my tie-ins yet. So in order to show the tie-ins, I did need to get tighter. My midsection in my upper body was already where it needed to be in terms of how tight and conditioned it was at Wasatch. So when you get tighter, you can't really control where you get tighter. So my upper body got significantly tighter as well as my lower body, so tighter than it was. And in turn, my face, I had like right here was very sunken in,
Yeah.
and I wasn't a fan of that. I looked in the mirror and I just was like, this has never happened to me before. Like, I'm aging. Wow. Like, it sounds so shallow. So I understand if I get hate for saying this, but
Because you
that's
were getting lean. Because you were getting lean from
yes.
dieting a lot.
Yeah, and I share this not to sound like, you know,
No, I understand.
annoying or anything. I'm just being honest. I just looked at my face and I just was a little bit surprised. I've never had diet face before, so it was a little weird seeing my face like that. And I remember seeing like the lines in my face when I smiled, and I remember that something that Sandy and other female head judges have pointed out with the bikini criteria is that they want a healthy look. And they want you to just like, look healthy, like on stage. And when I smiled and I looked into the mirror, I was like, this isn't, like, I don't look healthy. I don't. And I don't feel confident smiling on stage. And I don't feel confident right now. And I was confident with everything head down, like from the head down, because that was the conditioning I wanted. But I just wasn't confident in my face with the diet face and all that. But it was just, it was a very temporary stage because obviously my face filled back out the following week when we did legions. I think it was just because I was sweating so much, so I just had like water retention in my face that flushed out and everything. But yeah, I just wasn't confident with that going into that show.
I mean, so after Optimum and after, you kind of had like a dropping and placing, you get fifth place at the
Mm-hmm.
Legions. And,
Yes.
like I said, you always have those fans in your corner, and you always will have that. Like, they're always supporting you, like the young Tianna. Like, I don't want to keep saying the young Tianna, but they're happy to see someone that's coming up and that's making an effort. I think that's why you have that support. And, that's why people want to see, they want to see that underdog and that, coming up person be successful. And you always will have that. So, fifth place at Legion.
Yeah.
Following week, Nevada State. It was the judging was. I'll be honest with the
It was
Nevada State judging. I was confusing.
it was quite confusing actually
I was
because
like scratching the back of my head. I'm like, what's
they
going
only
on?
brought out 7 for the first call outs. Usually they bring 8, right?
6, 8, like always
Six,
when it's always an even number.
even.
Unless
Yeah.
they've
So they
never
brought out
done this
7.
for women. They've never singled anyone out.
Yeah, it was
They've
quite
done it for
odd.
men in the past. They've done it for like Phil and Dorian. They like they say go, like we call one guy. If they had 6 guys or 8, they would single one person out, and that because that person clearly won. But if it was like a clear win, they would have 5.
Yeah.
But
That show was confusing in terms of like the call out, and also for me being in the middle, I just assumed that they took who they wanted to be like the winner off to the side, and then they put me in the middle to see if I would get like 3rd or 4th or 5th or something like that. So that was my initial thought
yeah.
for that show. But it was quite confusing because the final call out, they brought all 7 of us out again, but they didn't move us. They just put us in like those initial spots
Okay.
that we started out on.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like you nailed it. I felt like you nailed it best. I mean, Tori was pretty good. I felt like she just needed more shoulders to her and just needed to fill out. But I definitely think that when I just kind of like recapped the whole video, I think you were spot on. You nailed it. And I remember
Really?
that video, and we're gonna pull it up. I hope you don't
Oh,
cry.
that's okay. I watched that video. I go back to it to remind myself how like privileged I am to be in this position.
Right. But yeah, I mean, when I saw you cry, I just think about that picture, and I think I sent it to you with Issa when she won
Yes,
Tampa.
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
that's the same thing that she did.
I could not hold it back. I tried really hard. I had to look away so you could see me going and hiding because I was like, I don't want people to see my crying face as much. But I was just like, I was hiding. But I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it at all. It was, to this day, one of the best moments of my bodybuilding career because I never thought that I would ever qualify for the Olympia. I never thought that it would happen. Like, I always thought that it would take way, way, way longer.
Yeah. And man, it's like it was the best feeling in the world. Like I would say this, I was like, oh my God.
You'll see
Tiana.
Nade like wipes a tear off for me. She's so sweet. because I had my makeup was running. You'll see right here. She like wiped it off for me. You know, and this is the one thing that like really stuck out for me during this moment. You know, when you do so many shows, show after show after show, and you haven't won yet, you get to witness other people winning, and you genuinely like you feel their emotion, and you can like embody that sportsmanship and everything, and seeing that being like seeing that come to me like for the first time, it was very surreal because I never thought that I would receive that, you know. It was so cool. I still can't believe that happened this year. It's crazy.
Were you crying in this? Were you still crying at this part? I was kind of like, I know that's
And
your profile pic.
yeah, I was.
Uh,
I was just like, I'm sorry, and I was like trying to wipe off the tears and everything.
well, no,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was
great feeling,
such a cool show. Yeah, it was so cool. I'm so thankful. I smile thinking about it because I just daydream about it. I fantasize about it whenever I feel like down or like a little bit anxious. I just think back to that, you know? I always like to replace anxious thoughts with gratitude, so I just think back to all those cool moments.
And so you do Los Angeles, you do the Los Angeles Grand Prix, Los Angeles Pro. You
Mhm.
take second there.
Mhm.
You were already qualified. Did you decide doing that just to like get another win or like see what I can improve on going to the Olympia?
So the goal wasn't another win, just because being realistic, and Adam put it this way: there's like A level pros, B level pros, C level pros. I'm like a B level pro. I'm going into a show probably not the favorite to win, but I also could maybe if I'm lucky or if it's a scenario based thing, and I just need more size. That's just the reality of the situation, you know. And I think we can all agree to that. So Adam explained to me, he's like, you're not an A-level pro. I'm just going to tell you straight up, but that's okay. We can still do this show because at Nevada, I was still too hard in the lower body, to be quite honest, for the bikini criteria. So Adam was like, I want to put out a physique that is more aligned to the bikini criteria, and I do think that we can soften up your hamstrings and that separation without losing the tie-ins or your core detail. So that was just kind of our goal going into that show, was just to try a slightly but still conditioned look, like slightly fuller but still conditioned look. And I went into that show knowing not to like put doubts on myself or anything, but knowing my place. I'm a B-level pro right now. So, you know, it was really good to do that show because I was tied to the reality of the situation, but I was also very confident going into that show knowing that I was bringing a more bikini look. So that's why we wanted to do it.
Okay, yeah, and that was great to like see what you want to do. And Adam's been like he's been in this for over 20 years, and obviously works the
Absolutely.
best out of every athlete. And you know, it's an awesome thing that you have someone like him, and you're obviously with the greatest on the team with the greatest bikini competitor ever. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's also your first Olympia, your first experience. You know, the previous year you were there as a at the expo, like
I was
at
working
the,
the Wings of Strength booth.
yeah, that was great to like have that experience just to see it all. I mean, I'll tell you this: you've not been to an Arnold yet. You've not been to
No,
Columbus. This will
no,
be your first
never.
one. It's the biggest expo in the country.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited for the
Yeah,
Arnold. I can't stop thinking about it all day long.
yeah,
I just smile and think about it.
yeah.
I'm
So
so
what you saw
excited.
at the Olympia is really small. You get to the Arnold, it's going to be much bigger. But going into
Really?
your first Olympia as a competitor, yeah, yeah. You want to see much bigger? You got to go to FIBO in Germany. It's like you're in like it's like the Arnold, but like you're in like this skyscraper of a building and it's like
Wow.
levels, but
Oh,
it can be so congested. Like where you're
well,
sitting to like go to that back wall is going to take you 20 minutes because of how
that's
I mean
funny.
because there's thousands of brands across the world that come there
Hmm. Oh wow, that's
and
cool.
now they have a they used to just have an amateur show, but now they have an amateur and a pro show. But
Hmm.
FIBO's you get into FIBO in any brand or you get there, it is like the best experience ever.
Oh wow,
But
I'm excited.
you have to go at least maybe one, you know, one day I think it would eventually go to Germany to go there in
I hope.
April. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope.
So first Olympia experience, you know, being competitor, you know, everything the whole week. Tell me about it. So what
Hmm.
was like you came in what day and then you had the athletes meeting, meet the
Hmm.
Olympians.
Hmm. It was really cool because I got there a week, 2 weeks, no, a week and a half early. Yeah, like 9 days.
Yeah.
So I had 9 days in Vegas. But it was really cool because I could see Adam pretty much every day, so he could see my true conditioning, and obviously he can tell where my conditioning is at over the like through pictures and videos too. But it was cool because he could actually see if there was like a trouble spot or something that I was concerned about. I could just talk to him like right there and then. So it was really cool because we would go through posing together every day. Me, and Adam would all meet up every morning. And we would have like posing, stage IQ. We'd go over everything. We'd get our plans right then and there if anything changed. And it was just really awesome. And I was just so happy during that week. And then the meet and greet was my favorite day. Like, honestly,
You had one of the biggest lines. You had one of
I
the biggest
not
lines.
expect that. I brought a lot of shirts. I think I brought like over 60 shirts, and we ran out of shirts to give out. So I'm still mailing out shirts and everything to anybody that wants one. But yeah, it was crazy because I really, when I was getting ready for the meet and greet, I told, because Jake went with me, I was like, should I even bring these shirts? Like, is there going to be anybody at my like table? He's like, well, just bring them anyway, just to be safe, like maybe there's going to be like a couple people. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Like, I'll just bring up all of them just to be safe. And then I was just like, what? Like, we ran out. Like, that was my favorite day of all the days because I just really could connect with everybody and thank them in person and just be face to face because you have friends online or you have people that you interact with online or that might follow you or you follow them, and finally being able to connect in real life, it's awesome. Like everyone's so genuine. So, it was amazing.
So on Saturday, I know it was a very long. So you being one of the last ones up,
Yeah.
how was that? With how long it was going for the prejudging. I will tell you this: it almost was like, I know it's that was kind of the painful thing, like to go through. With classic was an hour and 45 minutes. Men's Physique was 2 hours, and then you guys go up. So being the last one up, you go on stage. That was what the crowd was happy to see you.
Really?
I will tell you, yeah. I have the video and I hear the crowd go up and like
I heard
like,
I heard the screaming, but when you're up on the stage you can't hear too much,
Yeah.
So it was like drowned out a little bit, but that I did not know that because my mom was also like towards the front, so she couldn't hear either. But that's really cool. But
so your experience on at the prejudging, how was like your first Olympia experience? Like, I mean, I know you didn't play. You were in the third or fourth call out?
Probably fourth.
Okay.
It was close to the end. I think it was honestly last. Probably last call outs, to be quite honest. But I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong though. Or it was like second to last, maybe last. I don't remember. But yeah, I was just up on stage in my front pose until I was asked to come out for my call out.
Okay.
And honestly, it was great. I loved every moment of it, to be honest. So, like,
I mean, it was all a learning experience, and I told people, even if it's your first one, you take it as, well, this was a learning experience. I can come back. I can share shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I'll come back much better than last year. When I had Daraja on, she told me how she was, because back up until 2018, everybody could go to the final stage and they would just sign off and everything, and obviously the top 10 would do their individuals and be compared for final confirmation. But Daraja told me how, like, even though she was third call out and she was 14th place, she goes to the finals and then she's like, yeah, you didn't make the cut, sorry. And so she was like, I even said this, look, you're either going to be like, oh well, that's it, or like, you know what, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to work better, and I'm going to come back better the next year. And so I feel like you took it as a positive thing, and your fans love you.
No, absolutely. And I even did a whole recap video on this. Like, going into my first Olympia, like, I hate saying this, but it's just the truth, and it's just how I am. I already knew I was going to be towards the end. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going up against the best athletes in the whole world. I am a new Olympian, and my win was scenario based again. You know what I mean? That was just the look that they wanted that day, and I already knew the reality of the situation was, it's just, I'm not gonna be in the first, second, or third call outs. It's just not realistic. So I just told myself, like, I already knew that. So big head, not even like an issue or even in my ballpark. So I just truly had so much fun. And to be honest, I wasn't rigid with my posing practice either. I just kind of like did what I wanted on stage. And not because I was like carefree or anything, but just because I really just wanted to like let loose and have fun. And then that's why we wanted to do 2 more shows after the Olympia, just so I could execute the feedback that I got after the Olympia, and also just to like, you know, I was a little bit too lean at the Olympia, so I just wanted to like work on that feedback.
But you look like you had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
And
I
that,
mean,
it was
I,
all like, it's all the experience, like I said, like
yeah.
you're young and I don't think this is going to be your last one. Which one's the video? Is this one it? No,
Oh,
let's see.
those were. I think it was
Here you go.
this one. Yeah, I mean, you can tell I was like a little bit too lean, but I mean, something that I haven't even told anybody was, um, like I actually, I I was sick during the week like of the Olympia. I didn't want to tell anybody, but obviously we tested to make sure that I didn't have any like COVID or anything, but uh it was a little bit like I was burning through all my food.
But you know what? You went through it. You were happy on stage. You showed like you were confident on stage. It
Oh,
shows.
it was
Yeah.
so fun. And like even though I had like a little cold on stage, it didn't bother me because I was just like I'm having fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So after your 2 last shows, you got 6th place finishes, and
Yeah.
so you applied for the Arnold Classic, and you're going to your first ever Arnold Classic. How is that whole? What were your? Did you think that you wanted to end the season, or like you apply, and if I got accepted, great. If I don't, oh
So
well.
to be honest, I really did think my season was going to be done after Battle of the Bay. That's why I made it very clear, like, this is my last show of the season, which it technically is because the Arnold is in 2026. But
Yeah.
I, and I, Adam and I were going to announce this and we were going to make a post about this, but obviously we can't anymore. After Battle of the Bay, I was going to take a year off from competing. So I didn't think that I would be having a 2026 season. And the reason that we decided on this, it was a very tough decision. I cried about it for a little bit, just because it was very emotional for me. But Adam was just, again, it was the ABC situation, B level pro, and I have fellow competitors and judges tell me like you do have dense muscle, and your feedback this season has never been to go take an off season. So why are you deciding to take a year off? Doesn't really make sense if it's just like refinement and just finding the right level of conditioning. And I understand the arguments for that, but then on the other side of the coin, the reason that I'm so conditioned is there's a lack of muscle density in certain areas. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I also just need more size. That's just, I'm a small person. I'm small bone structure, small frame, and in order to fill out properly and to have size on, I need to be bigger, But so I get 2 sides of the coin, and I get 2 arguments. And at the end of the day, Adam and I were just saying, well, why don't you just take the year off and just, step away from stage for a year and just document your off season and start YouTube and do this and that. And I will be starting YouTube, but it's going to be for a different reason now. But I was very crushed about that decision, and I really did not I just did not want to end my season there because I was just not happy with how my section looked at Battle of the Bay. It was horrible. Like in that one posing video, I know I sound very very like shallow right now saying that, but we're our worst critics. So I just wasn't proud of my midsection there, and I was on my cycle. No excuse, because should have learned how to deal with that, but I didn't have enough experience with that, so it was a learning lesson. But then the Arnold invite and the list came out, and I initially looked at the list, and I didn't look at the picture yet when they posted it. I just got all these notifications and tags, and then I read the comments, and I just saw my name, and I look up at the picture, and I see myself at the bottom, like right there, and I looked at it again, and I was like, what? Like, what? what the heck? And I was just like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And I genuinely had zero reason to even think that I would be on the list. I will get into that after the show, but I called Adam and I was like, Adam, the Arnold list just came out and I'm on the Arnold list and I don't know what to do because I thought we were taking a year off and I was mentally preparing myself for that, but I need to do this show. Like, I'm on the list and I don't know what to do. And I'm like freaking out. And Adam was like, whoa, what? Like, you're pranking, you're joking, like, you're pranking me right now. There's no, there's no way. And I was like, Adam, go look, I'll send it to you. So we're on the phone and I'm like pacing around the house. I send it to him and there's just a long pause, like there's a long silence. And we're both, and Adam was like, what? And we were just like laughing hysterically. We were both just in shock. We were like, what the F? What is happening here? Like, there's no way. And again, I'll get into that after the show. Why we genuinely were just like, there's no way. And Adam was just like, well, you have to do it. Like, who knows if you'll get this opportunity again. Like, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, thank the Lord. Like, thank you. Like, this was a gift from God because I just deep down was not ready to end my season there. I just, after Battle of the Bay, I was just like, I don't want to go into off-season mode. Like, I still want to be posing for an hour every day and I still want to be on my prep schedule and fasted cardio and things like that. So it's like, I just wasn't ready to give up that schedule because I just found genuine love in it. And God, when finding out that I got like that invite to the Arnold, it was probably that in my Olympia qualification, but I'm more like, I genuinely never, ever expected that Arnold invite. It was crazy. I still giggle about it to this day because it just happened like less than a week ago and it's still surreal. But
I mean,
grateful.
you get to be on one of the second biggest shows in the world. The biggest
Mm-hmm.
fans of bodybuilding all over come to
Yeah,
Columbus, and you cannot say no to that.
yeah, I'm so happy. And Adam and I, we're gonna be documenting this, so I'm gonna start my YouTube and get that up and running, and like my TikTok and everything. And I will be documenting this prep, because who knows what's gonna happen after the Arnold? If I take a long off season, like I said I would, or if I continue to compete, we don't know yet. I am in a growing phase right now, going into the Arnold, so it's the similar trajectory that we did going into the Olympia, just eating into it. But yeah, it's, oh my goodness, I'm just so grateful. I really am. I'm really surprised that I'm on that list, to be quite honest. I'm really surprised.
I mean, it's I've had a lot of people on here, and I've had a lot of guests. It's harder to get into the Arnold than it is to get to Olympia because it's an invite only, and thousands of people apply, and like you're like that 1 to 5% of people who got accepted to do it, and it's a well-ran show. It's a great athlete experience
Yeah.
and a fan experience as well. It's on time. The Sky Bridge it connects to the expo and also like the battle grant, which is like the auditorium that they have for the finals. But
Yeah.
they fly you in, they give you hotel, they give you the
So,
hotel that Hilton hotel. When you get your thing and they know who you are, it walks in, the screen will say, "Hello, Tianna."
no way,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I've
Oh
had
my
my own coach, Jarek, did the Arnold in 2021. Even though he was last place in classic physique, he was just like, John, it was like one of the best experiences of my life. My
oh, I'm
opposing
so
coach, Justin, unfortunately did not apply. He's like,
yeah.
2027 I'll apply for it. But he won Hurricane, and he's one win away from going to Olympia. He got ninth in the Olympian Classic. So he's got a wedding to go to. He has things,
Uh-huh.
and so he wants to take a good off season to come back and improve. But he said,
Yeah.
I'm going to do the Arnold in 27, but I'm definitely trying to go to it this year.
Oh
That is
God,
like,
that's so fun. I'm so excited, and I think it's still hitting me, but I'm so excited. That's all I can really say. Like, I'm just so happy. Like, I cannot believe it, and I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to step on that stage. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think everybody gets an opportunity to go to finals at the
Yes,
Arnold.
everybody gets to go to finals.
So that'll be really cool because obviously I didn't go to finals at the Olympia. So it'll be cool to actually be on a big stage.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really excited for that. It's an immense privilege. It really is. And I wake up every day just going back to the Arnold page and looking at that post because they pinned it. And I'm just like, wow, I cannot believe that's my picture on the bikini line. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I look at it every day.
And it's honestly like, I think it's something that's going to be very memorable, and you have to do it. You have to get a picture with Arnold
I
Schwarzenegger.
will. I will. I promise.
If it's just a good selfie, that's all you need.
I'm so excited. I can't, like, I go to bed thinking about it and I wake up thinking about it. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, I keep saying it's very like, I mean, it's obviously a show that qualifies for the Olympia, but still like, to have that, experience just as the athlete, it's like, you guys get treated like royalty.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about a lot of the pro shows. You want to show that you're like, I had a great experience. Like, I'm going to come back to it. Like any promoter who puts that much for the athletes, it means a lot more,
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You're getting me all excited. I wish that it was here now, but I am also excited for the process leading into it because it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is cold in that time. So in early March. So obviously bring some warm clothes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
It'll be cold in Washington too.
yeah. So you're still young in the sport, and obviously it's many years of experience. So I kind of had, a couple questions to ask you, and like you can be open about it. If you don't feel comfortable, that's perfectly fine. So one of my first questions is, do you feel that, now with how young you are and you're seeing like, especially now in social media, that, and I know we're gonna get that young question, but it's like, do you feel like social media kind of like affects, or like you kind of feel like people, they're not happy to see someone young accomplish something so fast, and it's kind of like they kind of look at themselves and they're not, when if someone's like not as successful as someone who's young, they kind of get envy. Do you think it's this envy and jealousy that someone who's much older, who, let's just say they're a C tier athlete and never got to the Olympia or the Arnold, are they kind of like, how did that like feeling like how did that person accomplish this or anything like that?
To be honest, I will answer this like very openly, obviously, but I don't know how to word it, but I do think that with social media, with anything that you do, whether it's this sport or anything, there's always going to be that kind of energy wherever you go, no matter how old you are. And you can be the youngest person in the room or you can be the oldest person in the room, and there's always going to be negativity and envy and hatred surrounding that one specific thing or that idea or anything. And in my honest opinion, if somebody is feeling those types of feelings towards me, it's not really my business to question why or to ask or even to concern myself with it, because I'm not them. I'm not in their head. And I can't like come knocking on their door being like, why don't you like me or anything? You know what I mean? Like, it's not my business. So
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said that I have never experienced those kind of things, but if I ever get a sense of that, honestly, I brush it off and I don't let it get to me or affect me because it's not my business at the end of the day. Like, I know that that's a very typical answer, but it's honestly the truth. And I think the older I get and the more and more I get, like, the more experience I gain in this sport, I don't see anybody that has a negative viewpoint from me. So why would I worry about somebody else's thoughts who I don't even see on a day-to-day basis? You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm not as naive as people think or people might think I am. Like, I keep quiet. If I sense something or I have a feeling, I just keep quiet. I don't voice it or say it or anything like that. But I know that there are people out there that just don't like me, and I could have done, like, haven't done anything to them, but they just don't like me because they don't like me. And that is okay, because we're not supposed to like everyone. Like,
we're not going to try to please everybody,
no,
you know.
exactly. Like, for me, there's people out there that I don't necessarily like, and I'll be honest, like, there's people out there that I don't engage with their content or even look at their page, or there's certain energy that I just don't engage with. And it's not because there's any beef or anything, it's just our beliefs don't align. And for me to be worried about what everybody thinks, like, that's just stupid on my part, because I know I'm annoying. I know that I'm like goofy, and like I can be very annoying to some people, and it's just who I am, and not everybody likes that, and that's okay. So it's like, you know, I just kind of move on. And, you know, to the younger generation and the up and coming competitors that might be experiencing this kind of energy, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because noise is just noise, you know?
And you're winning, and you're winning. That's the thing. You know, you're still
Well,
winning.
the beauty about bodybuilding is everybody does have a chance to win. So whenever there is that kind of like jealous energy or envy that I see towards other people or anything, or if there's any negative talk about a competitor or anything being said, I usually just say, hey, the beauty of our sport is everybody has a chance to win, and everybody has a chance to make it to the top. Some people just get there faster than others, or some people just have a different path to get there. And at the end of the day, there's always workarounds to things. And if you're envious of something, instead of being envious, why don't you use that as motivation to get to where you want to be? You know? For me, my philosophy, when my friends win or when my peers win, I win. Our industry is so small, there's no room to be tearing other people down, and there's no room to be wishing poor things upon other people, because again, our industry is so small and niche. To the vast majority, most people can't differentiate between a pro or an amateur. It doesn't matter to them. So there's just no reason to be hateful and like spread that nonsense, you know? Like, when my friends win, I get ecstatic. When Roxy got the overall at Nationals, I cried. I was bawling my eyes out. When iShade placed 5th above me at Battle of the Bay, I'm so happy. I'm still so happy. Like, it's amazing. You know, it's just so cool to see your friends win. It's mind-boggling to me how you can look at somebody else succeeding and be bitter about it. You know, it's just, that kind of energy just never really enters my mind, because it's like, we all work so hard. Nobody works harder than anyone else, really. We all have things that we deal with behind closed doors and everything. So, you know.
That's a really good way to put it. I think you answered it like very well. I know we kind of had some early things about it, but you know, it's just part of the game. It's just, and you deal with it very well. But I wanted to go into my next question. Which show, this is, someone asked me this, which show is your favorite show that you have done as a athlete experience?
I would say probably all the muscle contest shows, to be quite honest, because it's very on the dot. And like, when you're gonna be on stage at 11 a.m., you're on stage at 11 a.m. And Spectrum, Battle of the Bay, I just did that show, but Spectrum Productions, amazing, because again, very on time, very well ran, and they give such amazing goodie bags to the athletes. And I know, like, there's more to the shows than goodie bags and stuff, but it's just cool to see promoters want to involve the athletes into their show. Like, for instance, with Spectrum Fitness, they collaborated on a lot of competitors' posts. It doesn't matter who the competitor is or like how many followers they have. Spectrum Fitness collaborated with a lot of competitors, and I love to see that, because one, it gives that competitor exposure and more, like, you know, like,
Traction.
more eyes on their hard work, and it also gives the show some exposure too, you know. And I think it's really cool when shows aren't picky about how many followers someone has before they collaborate. So I just think it's really good. Like, it's equality, you know, and I really admire that. And same with muscle contests, they'll collaborate with competitors and post the posing videos, even if you don't pay for them, which is so thoughtful. I also love Wasatch. Robin is amazing and like such a great show. Everything again, right on time, well ran, everything. I think for me, my biggest thing is timing.
Yeah. That's my thing too. It's like we go up on at this time, we're ready to go. Like
Yeah.
everybody I said this is why I felt like 2013 when Ashley won, you couldn't ask for a perfect day. It started in the morning on
Mm-hmm.
time. You know,
Exactly.
we're best. Everyone looks best in the morning to like noon. When
When
it's
you're
like
tight, yeah.
later, I mean, what time did Battle of the Bay go on for you guys for the open for the pros?
3 p.m. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right at
That's not too bad. It
3.
just if it was like at nighttime, like Ashley went on at like 1 in the morning in Argentina. I'm like, jeez.
Crazy.
I'm like, but she managed
Really,
it so
she's
well.
an anomaly. She is built different. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I would say and Robin plans, weeks, months, days to like she wants the best venue. She is gonna get the venue that
Oh yeah.
she was gonna have she had the one that she had this year was not the one that she had last year, but the one last year that she had in
Yeah.
24, much better. So if you are planning on doing Wasatch, I'm just saying it's a much
I
better.
really, I would be lying if I said I didn't want to. I really want to. I want to continue my season after the Arnold, but
Oh, no pressure on you to decide to do it.
no. I know what you mean, but I'm like, you know what? We'll just wait and see what Adam says.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see how the Arnold goes and everything. My goal for the Arnold is just to bring a much improved package from Battle of the Bay and to improve my
Okay.
weight.
All right. So another question for you is you're 5'2", right?
5'2", yeah.
So what is the one thing that you feel like needs to be, because for your frame, what is the one thing that needs to be brought up the most? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
longer arms,
Mm-hmm.
long arms, long legs, shorter torso. What is one thing that feels like you need to be brought up the most in your physique?
The glutes, always the glutes. Just the density, the projection, upper outer glutes. Honestly, glutes and probably delts as well. Even though I haven't gotten feedback about my delts, but I do have a narrow clavicle base, or I don't have the widest clavicle base. So in order to have that illusion of that, like, good tapered upper body, I do need to bring up the delts, a little bit of the lower lats too, just overall development over time. But the thing that I would say I need most, oh goodness, I don't like this video.
Okay, I'll get a
My
better one.
waist
I'll get a
is
better.
It's okay. You can no, it's okay. You can play that video.
I'll get a better one.
I
No, I want to make you
I'm
feel good. I bring athletes on here. I want them to look good. So, is
No, it's
Legion
okay.
okay?
People are gonna see that video anyways. You can go to my Instagram and see it. But I just need more width up top and just
You're
more.
narrow.
I'm very narrow.
Yeah, it doesn't look in the. Let me try to get like a back pose for you. You don't look
But it
narrow in
doesn't
the
look
back.
back. Yeah, exactly. It's just from the front, and it's also because I don't get body work done that often. So I'm very like. I mean, you can see the way I'm sitting. I just literally I sleep like this, and not trying to use scoliosis as an excuse, but having that makes it really hard for me to open up my upper body to the front.
Wait, so you have scoliosis? You had scoliosis, or
Pardon me?
did
I
you
have
have
scoliosis,
scoliosis?
yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
since you've always had that, I never knew.
Yeah. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 8. We had to get an X-ray for some reason, and then the doctor was like, "Hey, like you also have like a 40-degree curve in your spine. You have scoliosis. Just letting you know." So yeah, that's how I found out.
Okay.
So
Um.
there's actually, if you go to my Instagram stories, I made a small little story post about it today. But there's a hump on my back that I show, and the rib that sticks out because that's what scoliosis. That's how it affects my body. You'll see it on my Instagram story from earlier today.
This one.
Yeah, and then if you go back, right there. So see that rib that's kind of sticking out, and then that hump. Yeah.
So you feel like this, like next coming up season, you're gonna go more body work done? Or
Definitely, because I don't have good mobility up top. I have good mobility in the lower half, but not the upper half. Like, you can even see at Battle of the Bay and Iron Games, like, you can see I'm like pretty uncomfortable in my front pose because earlier in the season I was able to open up a lot more, to be quite honest. But as the season went on, I just neglected body work because I just didn't have. Not that I didn't have time, I didn't make time.
is that why
And
it feels like sometimes the left is
mhm,
bigger than the right?
you can actually see, like,
I was
you can see the imbalance. See this trap, but then
yeah.
this side, like, you can just I just have a lot of imbalances in my physique, and they're all induced by, one, me not getting body work and scoliosis. And I just have a lot of imbalances in my physique, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's just stuff that I need to learn to make time to work on and everything.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's good that you're gonna be addressing that. So another
Yeah.
question: you're on TikTok and you have millions of followers. Who's your favorite one? Who is your favorite TikToker, and who is your favorite one to collaborate with?
On TikTok,
Yes.
my favorite TikToker, does it have to be in the fitness industry, or could it be anyone?
It could be fitness or anybody or both.
Mm, I really, really like. Whose content do I watch the most? Honestly, I like to watch Nara Smith before I go to bed. Do you know who she is?
I have to look that up. Nora
She's
Smith.
not in the fitness industry. She's a model, but I like to watch her videos because they're very therapeutic and relaxing, because she's living a life that is so lavish and beautiful, but she's earned it, obviously. And she's only 23, and she is
What?
set. She's awesome. I love watching her content because it's so therapeutic, and it just gives me inspiration for when, like, one day if I am able to purchase my own home, how to decorate my house, how to cook. She makes everything from scratch. She has yeah, she's so pretty. I love watching her on TikTok. She's amazing because half of her page, it's not satire or anything, but people like to give her a hard time by saying, like, she whispers in her videos and she talks too monotone. So she kind of like uses that to her advantage, and she continues to make posts with that like monotone voice, and it's just become her trademark now. I love watching her TikTok. It's so fun. And she has like three beautiful kids. And
She
she
has
like,
kids already?
yeah, she's 23. She had her first kid at like 18, I think, or
Oh
19.
wow.
And she's a model, and
I just saw some like South Africa.
I think she's half German, half African American, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong, so
Let's
don't quote
see.
me on that.
Let's see.
I
Okay.
know she's half German. I know
German
that.
born, US based model. Born in South Africa. Okay.
Okay, that's what I was. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
She's
She's
awesome. I
tall.
love
Six
her.
feet tall. Wow.
Mhm. She's as tall as my boyfriend. No, but she's just beautiful inside and out. I love watching her content.
Let me see if I can get TikTok.
I also like to watch Abby Sharp, which I mentioned earlier in the podcast, too. I love Abby Sharp because she's very educational, and she has she just has very good vocabulary and very good verbiage, and I love the way that she just speaks it, like her mannerisms. It's really cool, and I love her content. So I always watch Abby Sharp, and she's so like, just, I love her.
Who's your favorite in the fitness industry?
Oh, that's hard. I have a lot of favorites, but I would say, mm, I don't know. I have a lot of favorites. Okay, I Allie's my good friend, but I just because she's my good friend doesn't mean that like I'm only watching her YouTube because she's my good friend. I love Allie Prince. Love her YouTube. I just love that she's documenting her off season, her improvement season, because she will be, and she's talked about this on her social media, she will be in an improvement season for a while, and she's documenting all that. And I think it's really cool because a lot of people can relate to that. You know, a lot of people are in their improvement seasons right now, and let's be honest, we all feel more confident when we're shredded, like, stage lean. And she's posting her body in all seasons, and that inspires me to do the same, and so many others. So I just love what she's putting out there. I also love Gianna. Gianna's documenting her journey.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so admirable that these girls, these people are taking time out of their day to just be so transparent and honest with their audience and to show people that they're not alone. And I love that because it's relatable and it's genuine.
Yeah. I love what they're doing as well. Like you see, it's crazy to see like 10 weeks out, like 8 weeks.
Yeah,
like, you see
exactly.
they're like how their physiques are changing through off season.
Exactly. And
And
one thing is, I don't do that. I don't document everything because I'm so like, like I don't. And I really should because I want to look back on this when I'm, when I'm not doing this anymore. I want to be able to look back on this. So they really inspire me to just show everything or everything that's appropriate to show. You know what I mean?
yeah, I have a couple more questions. I just got to plug this thing. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
All right. I just had to make sure my thing was about to die. So I just wanted to charge that in.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hoping I didn't lose anything. It said it was still recording. So
No, I can see the recording. It says 1 hour, 54 minutes.
yeah. I just have a couple more questions to ask. Yeah, it is around 11:30 where I am. But so you're an adult. You're 21 years old.
Yes.
I did see on Corey Hageman's episode that you did talk about, being open about about PED use. And I will tell you this, what you take is not that bad for Anavar. Is that the only thing? Is that the only thing right now?
Yeah, I've never taken anything else. That's just me being honest. Like, not even peptides. Because I'll be honest, I want to dabble into peptides, but I have not gotten approved for that by Adam yet, obviously. And just right now, financially, I don't know if I want to invest in that, but the only PED I've ever had experience with is Anavar, and the most that I've ever done is 10 milligrams, and that was for a week, for peak week, to keep me full, and that's the truth. I think when it comes to PEDs, there's a lot of stigmatization, like, there's a stigma that it's like people are taking more than they really are, but it's like, I mean, I know a lot of top Olympians that really don't take that much. And for me personally, I just, stick to the basics. My philosophy is get as big as possible with the least amount of stuff as possible.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not that bad, starting out. But the thing is like duration. And I've talked to like a couple of people in the industry, like, and I've had Corey Hageman on. I've talked to Dom. I've not had Dom on, but I've talked to him in person. I am trying to get Victoria Falker, who's like really good with like the female hormones and PED use and stuff. So I'm going to talk to her and have a lot of things about her. But listen, like I said, you're an adult. You can drink. You can smoke marijuana. You can adopt a dog, buy a firearm, be someone's guardian.
I will say this though: we're not utilizing Anavar or any anabolics like going into the Arnold, and that's just me being like 100% raw and honest. We might use peptides, but the reason behind it is just because in my family, alcoholism runs in my family again, and also liver issues run in my family. When you're taking an oral supplement, it's very hard on your liver, as you know. So even Adam said you might not have side effects from the low dose that you were taking, but let's think about over time, like 1, 2, 3 years. There will be side effects. It will add up. It's just like drinking. You don't see the adverse things at first, but it can add up. So Adam and I are just trying to prevent that. So we're just not going to be using anabolics, and we're just going to be probably going down the peptide route. I don't know what peptides yet, but that's just what we're doing. And
I mean, you're still young in this, and you can, like I said, less is possible. And, I always say if like you're going to add 1 or 2 things more, at least wait a little more down the road.
Exactly.
I feel
I don't have any, to be quite honest, I really don't have any interest in adding anything in, like any anabolics in other than Anavar again. And if I do, which I probably will, I just don't know when, but if I do add in Anavar back in, it'll probably be for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. But I'm just not interested. Like, I've been asked if I would try Primo or what's the other? It's quite popular now.
Clen?
Not everybody, but like, it's kind of popular. A lot of people are using it. It's I forgot the name. I don't know, but I'm
Winstrol?
not interested.
Winstrol?
No, because I think what Winstrol does is it makes you hard,
Yeah.
right? Or yeah, so no, I'm already hard enough without that, so I don't need that. But I've been asked if I would like dabble with Primo or GH or anything, and no, I'm not, because first and foremost, I'm not pinning. I'm not doing that. That's
Yeah.
like out. And also, secondly, I looked at the price of GH. That stuff is so expensive.
Yeah.
I don't have that money. I don't have that money right now, and I am not. I'm not planning on spending that kind of money on stuff like that yet. Maybe in the future, but not right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're
I'm
still
just
young,
gonna
you know? Yeah.
try to grow as much as I can. Try to grow as much as I can with the limited resources. So with the least amount of stuff as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of like me. I'm only doing just two things. That's it. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
I've not done a amateur show yet, but my coach is like, we're gonna grow your physique. You need more muscle
Yeah,
tissue. But obviously,
and
you know, over
mm-hmm.
time. But I've even said I'm not doing one, two, three, four things. And
Yeah,
I've said, because I just don't want that, you know, side effects. I know I'm not, because I'm 30 years old. I know I'm not gonna compete for I would love to be a pro. I'd like to get on a pro stage. Do I think
yeah.
Olympia level? Probably that's not in the cards for me, but you know,
Don't say that. You never know.
yeah. But for
The,
you, like I think it's I think Adam, I think it's responsible. I think you're doing things the right way. You're not like succumbing to pressure. But
no,
do you
and
sometimes
he actually steers me away from that stuff. To be quite honest, like I talked about this on Corey's podcast, but whenever we have food increases, we make sure we're not using anything. So the food is our steroid. It's our PED, because
yeah.
when you have more food, you have pumps. You have carbs in your system. You have fats to keep you satiated. Like you get energy. Food is fuel. As I know that's such a popular saying, but it's true. And like for me right now, I'm eating almost 3,100 calories. I don't need anything else to drive my training other than using that food and putting it to use. And that's why I train so hard, because I want this food to be put to use. I don't want it to just be stored as body fat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
So
also, mm-hmm,
I was gonna say for cardio, is it when you're
mm-hmm.
fasted, are you doing like a fat burner, you himbine,
No, I wanted to.
carnitine?
I wanted to, I'll be honest, but Adam said I don't need to do that. So for my cardio, I don't even use a heart rate monitor. I don't even know how high my heart rate gets. I just go like this, and if it's a manageable thing where, I mean, obviously I can't talk during cardio. I can't have a conversation when I'm on cardio. Like it's intense, but I don't monitor my heart rate. I should, but it just doesn't matter as long as I can't have a conversation and I'm just like moving. Like that's how I gauge my cardio. And right now it's 3 by 15.
So how much cardio do you do a week and how much time?
Yeah, so right now it's 3 days a week, 15 minutes right
Okay.
now.
All right.
Yeah, like the most it got in prep was 45 minutes for only 6 days.
Okay.
And
That
then the rest was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just kind of like up and down.
that's actually really good.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
How many days how many days a week you train and what is a split? That's another question I get asked.
Um, I train 6 days a week, sometimes five, and my split is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, glutes and hamstrings, and like one unilateral movement, whether that's like one unilateral squat movement, whether that's a reverse lunge, Bulgarian split squat, or single leg press, but it's glute focused because I don't want to grow my quads or make them more dense. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays is shoulders and back, and then Saturday is delts, and then Sunday is rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. And when do you like pull back on delts because if they get too big or you still feel like you need to grow
That's
more?
never happened, to be
No.
quite honest. I've never had to pull back on delts. I feel like they're just that one muscle group that like I'm always going to be lacking. Like it's never, I don't think I'll ever be too big with my delts, to be quite honest, because the way that my training is structured is I don't have a full on 3 shoulder day isolation days or anything. Like it's only one shoulder isolation day a week. And then on my back and shoulder days, they're combined. So it's technically like if you think about it, it's like 2 full shoulder workouts a week.
All right. So we actually kind of went over this. Like, will we be seeing Tianna on YouTube again? I miss your series. Huge fan
Yes,
of her.
yes. I will, I promise. So I dropped my camera last year and I have yet to fix the lens, but I'm getting a new lens for Christmas.
Okay.
So I will be on YouTube very soon. I promise. In the meantime, go to my TikTok. I'll be doing daily vlogs there.
All right. That's great to know. So what is your food intake, and what are your like favorite food sources from proteins, carbs, and fats?
So my food intake, I'm at 3,100 calories right now. Um, my favorite carb source is cream of rice, bread. That's it. I don't really gravitate towards potatoes or oats that much just because cream of rice, and bread, it's just so easy and it doesn't take up that much room in my stomach, and food volume is big for me. Like, I don't want to be stretching out my stomach too much, especially with how much food I'm eating. Um, I also like fruit, obviously. And then protein, I love tilapia, I love chicken breast, pork loin, lean ground beef, 96.4, steak, filet mignon, shrimp, egg whites, whole eggs, but that's like a fat source too. Fats, I love cashew butter, almond butter, walnut butter, pecan butter, just all nut butters. I love nut butters. Coconut oil, I love coconut oil on rice, and I cook all my food in coconut oil. My fats are so high right now, they're at 104 grams, so I'm having coconut oil and nut butter in every single meal. So I love that. And then avocado and cheese, only a little bit though. I don't want to have too much cheese because it will make me break out. And then I love plain Greek yogurt. So, and then asparagus for vegetables, cucumbers, spinach, romaine lettuce. So yeah, I love food. Honestly, I love to eat, and I'm really enjoying all the food that I get right now.
And you rotate them every day, or you kind of like one day chicken and beef, one day fish and
I have
chicken, kind of, or do you kind of like
I
one day
have
only one type?
I have different proteins in every meal. So like in the morning, it's egg whites, whole eggs, and then like Greek yogurt, chicken, tilapia, lean ground beef. It's just like different protein sources every single meal, which is fun.
Yeah. And what's your favorite cream of rice? Do you do our whole group chat calls it orange box. It's like, oh, you on the
Oh yeah,
orange box?
I do. To be honest, I only do the orange box when it's peak week because no artificials. But I really like Flavor Gang, and I like their mystery flavor and their peanut butter cookie flavor and their apple pie flavor. Those are my top 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've only had Pride Foods. I need to try Flavor Gang, and
It's
and I've
so
not
good
tried.
because it's like fine, so it's so creamy. It's not like gritty. It's so easy to digest too, and it doesn't bloat me. Because usually sucralose and artificials bloat me, but I don't think they have sucralose in their cream of rice. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
I mean, I I know you don't like oats, but I learned this actually from Chris Tuttle, who's a registered dietitian and a top coach. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bob's Red Mills, the organic one,
Oh
it's
yeah.
much better digesting than the Quaker because of
Mhm.
how it's manufactured. I was like,
I
I asked that he doesn't know the answer to it because he goes, it came from a better manufacturing source, and obviously it's not as processed as Quaker is.
yeah.
But you'd have to just like old fashioned oats in that way. But that's what I've learned, and I
I
even asked that question on my Q&A the other day, so I,
Mhm.
I gave an answer to that.
Yeah. I only like quick oats because of the texture. I'm a texture person. I don't like the chunky, like hearty texture. I like things to be like creamy and smooth and fluffy.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you have to see what works for your body, and over time, and see
Exactly. It's just easier
what
for me
what
to.
you like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another question is, you're a full-time student still, right?
Not full time, just part time because
Part-time.
it's on.
So the question that this person asks is, how do you go
Mm-hmm.
about your day in a life being student, being a student, going to the gym, studying,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously putting content out on social media? How do you go about your day?
Well, the one thing that I will say is when it comes to content on social media, I don't consider myself an influencer because I'm not. I'm just an athlete who posts their journey, and having that weight off my shoulders helps because I really just post random stuff. If I feel like I want to post something one day, I'll post it. If I feel like there's a cool picture on my phone or a selfie that I took that I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, I want to post it, I'll post it. And then for my captions, I just think about how I'm feeling in the moment or thoughts that I've had that I've wanted to share, things that I feel like other people might have some things to say on, or we can all just kind of like have a conversation. So my goal, whenever I post, is just an invitation to collaborate and share ideas. For instance, like my post that I did today with Roxy, we both just wanted to post that because a year ago from today, we were both just kind of like manifesting where we wanted to be a year from today. And the fact that both of our dreams came true, we just wanted to share that, you know? So we shared that post today and we wrote the caption together and we just, we thought that was appropriate. And yeah, we just wanted to share that. It was just good memories, we trained together yesterday.
When I saw her at the Olympia, I thought she was already a pro, but
I
she's been
know.
doing this for
Yeah.
years, and
Mm-hmm.
she did the amateur that day, and I was like, I think she was already a pro. So going into
Oh,
nationals, I think
absolutely.
it was going to take her long to become a pro, and
Yeah.
here she
And like
is.
I'll post random transformations too if I feel like I want to just talk about my process, my trajectory. Like the other one I posted it I think 3 days ago.
Let's see.
I just kind of wanted to highlight all of the shows that I did this year and just talk about where I was lacking, what the trajectory was and stuff. So I just share things that I actually get questions on for content. I just share things that people ask me. And in terms of studying and stuff, it's just I do that after the gym or I do that before the gym or I do it like in between clients and meals. But to be quite honest, I don't study as much as I used to because there is such thing as overstudying. Just like there's such thing as over practicing your posing. You can overwhelm yourself sometimes. So it's just finding the happy medium of everything. Not everything needs to be overdone, and that's something that I've learned over the years because I used to be kind of like an all or nothing mentality. So I used to be like, I need to study for 4 hours in order to get an A. I wouldn't get an A. I just forget everything. So it's just finding that sweet spot in everything that you do. In your training, you don't need to be at the gym for 4 hours. That's ridiculous. Unless you're doing like sauna, cardio, posing, eating there, then that's a different story. But if it's just like your lift and cardio, like 2-3 hours max. And like obviously I'll have some conversations after my lift to talk to friends and stuff, but it's just mapping out your day. And like today, I knew that we were going to have this interview, so I just made sure everything was done beforehand so I could be fully present in the interview and not have to think about anything else that I needed to do.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. So when you do your competition season, are you in school at the same time as well?
Usually not.
Okay.
No. Yeah, so that helps a lot. But if I was, it would just be mapping out things. Probably I can't study or read during cardio, but like just have to get up earlier, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you do that very well, and you manage your time, and that's like I think your parents saw that you had that discipline in you, like you wanted it. You like, she's really focused and determined to like do the
Mhm.
show, to like do school and do all that, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
You have to give Sam Sulik credit. He was
Oh my,
influencer
yeah.
and finishing up mechanical engineering at
I could
Ohio.
not what he did and what he's doing. He's a lot of respect to him. Like that's really hard to do.
Mechanical engineering. I mean,
Crazy.
and
It's
even
crazy.
if he, yeah, and if after bodybuilding, he'll still have something to go to. But if it takes, but he's every day posting, you know, it's kind of boring. It kind of gets boring after a while. Like, go to the gym, freaky pump, go home, eat food.
But no,
He's
it,
in person. He is just awesome. He's just a
it's
great
routine
kid.
though. Like he's I think it's cool that we all are so routine based that like sometimes it's cool to just see that repetitive nature and just see how we all thrive in that routine and we can make it special each day and
Yeah,
everything.
I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, and you're making it work out very well. And I'm happy that you're showing, people
Thank
your
you.
journey, and and it's like I said, I feel like you're inspiring the next generation, and we
Thank
have this whole group of youngsters coming up, and it's like they're just documenting their journey. They're saying, I'm going through
you.
this. They're not, And
Yeah.
if they're saying something bad, I'm like, you guys need to like they're making an effort, and I respect anyone that makes an effort. Like when I'm seeing someone that's like second through sixth in shows, and I'm just like, that got my
Yeah.
attention. I'm like, she's making an effort. She's putting herself out there. She's gonna be something great one day. And
Thank you.
that's what really gets my attention. And just seeing how you evolved, you know, how when you started like in 2023 to now, it's like it's truly amazing, Tianna. And I'm looking forward to
Thank
seeing you. Like I said, this was not your last Olympiad, and this is going to be a great Arnold Classic experience.
Thank you.
I think you're going to I think you have a great thing going for you. So last but not least, right? And so who you want to so anybody you want to shout out to?
Yes, my mom, my boyfriend Jake, and of course Adam, Cutler Nutrition, Angel Competitions, Bikinis, and all that glitters and gems. So my 3 sponsors, and then my 3 favorite people, and then of course everybody who's following me on social media and all my friends. Wouldn't be here without everybody that I just named, and of course the IFBB Pro League, JM, and everything. I know I'm like naming all these people, but truly, like, this industry is so special to me. This community is so special to me, and when I look at my page and I look at the genuine interactions that I have every day, it's just cool because I started from being somebody, like, growing up not having too many friends and just coming home and playing by herself, like by myself, to now having, like, waking up to messages every day, talking to people, clients, friends, family. Like, it's a dream come true, you know?
Yeah.
That's why, like, it's just so cool to me that I thought I was going to be alone for most of my life, to be quite honest. I never thought that I'd even have a boyfriend or be in a relationship or even be on social media and have followers. I never thought any of this would be in the cards for me. So to see something that I've only fantasized when I was little, like, it's cool seeing that it's coming true. I'm just so grateful. There's me and Jake at our friend Sadie and Gavin's wedding.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Aw.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful. You know, the people in my life are what make me, like, it's the reason where I am today. So just really grateful.
I really appreciate it, and that's a great way to end on it. Sorry for the technical troubles,
No, totally
Tianna.
fine. Totally fine. I think it's because we're in my basement too. So
Yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time, and I'm really glad to get to know about your journey and just, you know, you being open about everything.
thank
And
you.
I don't, like I said, you're not just Tianna the youngster, you're Tianna, just an amazing
Thank you
person.
so much. I really, really appreciate it. Like, honestly, I know I always say thank you, but I'm never going to stop saying thank you. Sorry to everybody that's annoyed with me always saying that, but
No.
I wouldn't be where I am today without all of you guys, without everyone in my corner. I can't imagine life without, like, everyone. So thank you for having me too, and thank you for your time.
Yeah. And that's just what I like about, you're just very genuine. You're not just saying thank you. You're just like, no, I'm genuinely thankful for everything that,
Well, it's like, it
yeah.
takes a village. I mean, I'm not going to go on a long tangent and waste your time, but it takes a village. Yes, this is an individual sport, but, you know, meal prep companies, gyms, like, sponsors, coaches, like, we're all getting help, you know? So, and it's just, you know, it's abundant. I'm very privileged, very grateful. So,
Well, once again, thank you so much, Tianna. I would
thank you
love to
for
bring you
having.
on, in the future, if
Oh, I
you
would
ever
love
want
to
to be
be
on.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, once again, I appreciate it. I hope to see you. I'm going to see you in Columbus. Okay.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully you can make it out there.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You take care. You have a good night. All right.
Thank you, you too. It's like pretty much almost midnight for you now. So happy you. Almost Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You take care, Tianna.
Bye.